news is considered a vital part of today's society. However, many people claim that young people are not interested in the news, meaning its future is uncertain. A survey conducted by Professor Alan Knight shows that the majority of uni students do not read the newspaper. Statistics like this help the misconception that young people today take no interest in the news. As Harrington notes in his article, it is not that young people are switching off the news, or do not care about staying informed for that matter, but are instead switching over to forms of news that are more interesting and relevant to them. To answer the question of whether young people engage with the news, we first must define what engage is. If engage means accessing the news through reading the newspaper or watching the 6 o'clock news on television, then it is fair to say that young people are engaging less. However, there are now more than ever a large variety of ways to access the news. For example, television shows such as The Colbert Report, The Daily Show with Jon Stewart, and The Chase's War and Everything entertain audiences while keeping them informed of recent political events. Even though this is done through mocking and satire, there is no doubt that this educates the audience on a topic that they may not have originally cared or thought about. As pointed out by Gray, when a politician directly contradicts their words to a year ago, 9 times out of 10 it is The Daily Show that captures it. It could even be argued that these programs give a more detailed versions of events, as opposed to the 6 o'clock news. This is due to a typically longer and more in-depth analysis of the issue. As quoted by Harrington in his Week 6 lecture, Bloomer believes that the notion that only programs formally labelled as informational should be regarded as legitimate outlets for civic communication is unsustainable. This enforces the theory that the traditional definition of news is unstable and now open to interpretation. While accessing information through unconventional methods is one way of engaging with the news, another is by producing the news. Technological advances like YouTube, podcasts and blogs have allowed anyone with access to these forums a chance to give their take on the news. This is called citizen journalism, and its increasing popularity is a reflection of young people engaging in news. In order for someone to produce a blog or video, it is fair to say that they must first connect with the news. Some may argue that this is not real news, and that the people producing this news are underqualified and don't know what they're talking about. Whether this is true or not is another question. The fact is, if underqualified people are motivated enough to showcase their opinion through a blog or YouTube video, there is little doubt that they have engaged with the news. While young people may not be engaging with the news through traditional means, they are taking advantage of a new style of news by watching programs that both entertain and talk about politics, as well as producing the news themselves. While the standard of this news may not be professional, it shows that young people now, more than ever, are engaging with the news.